It's okay. Off your mind, it's okay. Off your mind,
Chai! Now wow, people wey supposed talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego political, my ego don't come, oh, this one not the off in mind, my ego don't come, oh, and in the touchlight every corner, my ego don't come, oh, okay, some people be they holla say they want the power, them be promise us say we go get light and power, them hustle so they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar, just they get the higher power. Over naira, see them talk say, make we off mind. But thank God say, my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Political, my ego don't come, oh, this one not the off in mind, my ego don't come, oh, person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my ego, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my ego diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary political, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. This man not the off in mind. My ego don't come, oh, aha. Now you not done here. All these bad politicians, then we call themselves politicians. When they thief our money, we no want make the common man get waiting supposed get for this country. And I never hear something. Now go hear one. My ego, you go show on a paper. My ego diary political. So my people make you shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we laugh, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary political, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. This one not the off in mind.
Hello there.
Ayégun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Ayégun diary, Ayégun number one.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí.
Ayégun diary, Ayégun number one.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Ayégun diary.
Sunday sermon on Mayegun's Diary Political. A no holds bar session on Mayegun's Diary Political. You are welcome. Share this broadcast.
Bó bá ṣe àní Mayegun máa wí.
Ayégun diary, Ayégun number one.
wọ́n sì tún ṣeré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi #1.
Mayegun Diary political.
Mayegun Diary, Nayibi.
Seun Kuti is trending, not for anything really good. He slapped a police officer, and while some are asking for his head, others are asking that justice must be done, while others as well are saying he should have done more because the Nigerian police are an evil cult that have done worse to Nigerians. All of these will be put into perspective on today's sermon. Share the broadcast.
Mayegun ti dé.
Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀ súnra kì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀ súnra kì.
Thank you so much.
Lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀ súnra kì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ó ti dé.
Bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun máa bí.
Àní ẹ̀ súnra kì. 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 Súnra kì.
Shay, help us, oh, help us. There is God, oh. There is God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh. God should descend, oh, today God will descend here. Nigerian women will not cry in vain. Nigerian women will not cry in vain. This thing will end today. My sisters, if your child lost, will you stay and keep quiet? Will you people stay and keep quiet? The president now is calling you, come, I want to help you. You don't want to appear. Will you agree?
You get it? Okay. If you don't get it, forget about it.
Mayegun ti dé.
Thank you very much. Sorry for that little interruption, okay? I kind of always suffer that software, interruption. But yeah, that is me back. Happy Sunday to those of you who are already on Sunday and to those who are already living Sunday. This is the Sunday sermon on Mayegun's Diary Political. It is a no holds bar session, which means you have to see Mayegun in his real element. I mean, where he calls spade. And in this case, the truth can sometimes make you uncomfortable. It's called uncomfortable truth. The latest development is like the hunter becoming the hunted. The election in Nigeria, this particular charade of 2023, really exposed a lot about Nigeria and Nigerians generally. For the first time, we kind of get to see the true colors of those who have been together with many, many of us like that for years now, standing up against a corrupt, brutish system or government in Nigeria. People turned on themselves. Activists turned on the people they pretended to be defending for years. Influencers, they became spokespersons for the same establishment that they have pretentiously for years stood up against. But somehow, a lot of us who have kind of predicted the charade and all the shenanigans that surrounds it, we never predicted the amount of exposure, I mean, of the people that many of you held in high esteem. And why did that happen? Usually in Nigeria, people thrive, kind of. If you don't have, if you don't have these, these famous names as your second names, so you thrive to build something, get to a stage where when social media came, people became influencers. They didn't have to be part of the system to mobilize and, in fact, influence odds of people's kind of choices. It happens that way. And because of this, over time, politicians have always been targeting those who are mostly outspoken. Outspoken in the sense that they have the crowd. They have a lot of people that kind of listen to them. So politicians find ways to influence them. In other words, in order to influence the people that follow them. 2023 election exposed all of that. The people that we kind of all were friends with, they fell along the line and they turned against the same people. And somehow they became defenders of the same system that they once stood up against. So we saw that in this 2023. We saw people expended their energy on especially the obedient, in particular the obedient. Now let me explain that to you. Before 2022, almost all of us professed the evilness, the evil of APC, Egbekegbe, as well as the evil of people destroying people. We all thought these two hands of leprosy have been rejected by a lot of us. And we seem to be in the same camp. Well, maybe not in the same camp, but at least we have the same common enemy. Then 2022 came, and like magic, Nigeria's supposed activists, human rights activists, young and old, they turned up against the same people's movement and they labeled them almost everything. In fact, at a point, it became like it is a normal thing. Like it is, no, there's a particular word I'm looking for. Like it is the fulfillment of all righteousness to attack them. I mean, a lot of you who kind of didn't pay attention to this division, I decided to take you back to pre-2022. Pre-2022, if you really want the people's attention, just speak more about the failure that they are suffering, the failure of government that they are suffering. Yeah, everybody will agree with you. It was more or less like was going to be a unanimous decision that a disestablishment that serves the interest of a few people must go. Of course, we know that the system has their own supporters too. But you will think, with the level of dissenting voices, a time will come, just like if you asked for a revolution, you would expect everyone that disagrees with this current system, if they are in the majority, that will bring a success to a revolution, Abi. That means everybody will drop everything else and they will unite under one accord in a revolution and say, this system must go down. Now, when the obedience started, I realized that from my own experience, Nigerians don't really hate corruption. They don't hate oppression. Police brutality and every other criminality that you might have seen out there, Nigerians don't hate them. If you probe very well, like I did, you will realize that the only reason why majority of Nigerians are complaining about bad government, about corruption, about oppression, about everything you've heard Nigerians lament about all your life, when you push further, you realize that they are complaining because they are not the ones doing the oppression. They are not the ones doing the stealing or benefiting from that stealing. And that's the moment they have a chance of expressing themselves how they actually feel. You know, that kind of freedom of, I want to do what I want. I could do what I want and get away with it. Then you realize that a typical Nigerian is not different from the same criminal politician, the leaders they elect or they select or they rig for. They are not really different per se. The only difference is that the moment you climb that ladder out of the ordinary Nigerian circle, then you have that kind of feeling that you could do whatever you want. Anyway, the election brought a lot of division. In fact, so many people said the reasons why they will never want somebody like Obi to be president of Nigeria is because of his supporters. His supporters are so rude. His supporters are so intolerant. His supporters are this, and that. So they decided to make up every goddamn lie that they can, no matter how ridiculous they sound. Yeah? And these are coming from the people that we were once together, exposing the danger that this current establishment represents. They have been victims themselves too on several occasions. But Mayegu, was just here watching the whole drama. And at a point I was like, are these people really under spell? Is there something else that are not really known that, are just coming out now? Like, what is really wrong? What do they really want? But obviously, knowing what Nigeria is and who Nigerians are, 8 out of 10 Nigerians you meet is not against anything going on in Nigeria per se. They are only against them if they are not the one doing them. Remember? So a lot of supposed human rights activists, they turn to woman rights cash activists. And if you therefore identify with obedient, you will become a primary target of theirs. Even when you are attacked, or when you are killed, when they come out to pretend to condemn the attacks or the killings, if they did at all, they will still find a small space to blame you and say, because you are intolerant, you can't take this, you can't take that. And guess what? As shocking as this might be for people like us who thought there's going to be a sort of, I did tell people, I said, listen, after this whole charade and this nonsense, right, I would kind of expect those who, for some reason, made us believe that they didn't agree with the nonsense going on in Nigeria for years. Maybe now that their charade is over, they can come back to their senses and stop helping the establishment, right, to justify why people deserve the leaders they have. But unfortunately, Baba, everybody double down, no? Including our own vintage Shore. Yeah, I'll come back to that of a Shore a bit. Nigeria system is brutish, and those who are supposed to uphold the law are criminals. And most of their criminalities are not seen as crimes. They see them as normal. For example, if you see a slightly okay Nigerian exercising that is little privilege, something that makes him a little bit different from his other peers who don't have what he has. Just little. You will see them, or listen, you will hear them tell you every small thing. Do you know who I am? Do you know who you are talking to? And guess what? The people who have seen themselves as below class to that person, they will begin to try to explain to the other person and say, do you know who you are talking to? Some of you don't even know who you are talking to. If they bring this in and they use the police to send you to jail now, people will be begging. They will be saying that they are using the power of money, or they are using power over you. It is like a mentally, all right. So to oppress whoever you think is below you. So in Nigeria, we have a variety of oppression. So let's take the politicians. Okay, in fact, let's start from them. The politicians oppressed the institutions that they have captured, including the police. Because of their own corruption, the policing system in Nigeria, which is, modeled after the colonial policing system, which was simply to cage and cower the citizens, not to provide security for them. A lot of you don't know this. Nigeria police is not established to provide security for you or protect you, even if they keep telling you same. But you know that their actions are not to protect you. No. Their main action is to protect the system, defend and protect the establishment. And who are the system? The politicians, the elites and the rest of them. So therefore, the police that is meant to provide security, prevent crime, and indeed prosecute criminals, they ended up providing a whole security for the criminal gang, the elite, and the political class. So you will see the policemen in Nigeria carrying the handbags of the wives of their own bosses. These bosses are not police bosses, so they are politicians that they are assigned to. You will see policemen in Nigeria, right, going into the market to buy foodstuffs for the boss wife. I mean, a lot of ridiculing, and they are contented with that. So whenever the establishment feels threatened, they send the police after that threat, including their citizens. That's how it works. Now, when you now leave the politicians out, leave those ones in power out, and then come down to those who don't have political power. Some don't even have political influence, but they do have money. So having money at a certain level will give you the easy pass, easy access to the commissioners of police in your different states, and they can provide you your own private security. That is, assign to you your own private policemen. They are going to be paid by Nigeria as Nigerian policemen, but you are going to pay the commissioner of police, who is then in return going to give these policemen some handout to permanently stay with you. Do you get the level of how they are sharing that, right? Now, if you therefore, for any reason, okay, hang on, before we get to that, if you are now famous, this time around you are a politician, or you are a social media influencer that has money, right? Famous. You are entitled to the same privilege as long as you have your money to pay. So they will provide you same security, same leverage, and in the process, if you are in any trouble, your money can also clear you with a single phone call. It doesn't matter the kind of whatever you are doing. You have the privilege of allowing the police to search you or not to search you. We see this whole number of people I'm listening out now, right? Politicians, pastors, sheikh, imams, Miyeti Allah, and the rest of all these gangs. Everybody shall have their own different police protection. You pay for them. You see, the rest of the policemen in Nigeria and women who have no privilege of serving as private security to privileged individuals in Nigeria, they are then unleashed on the rest of you. Remember, they are not paid well. They are not paid well. No real training. In fact, a lot of retired or sort of convicted criminals, ex-convicts, are finding their ways into the same Nigerian police force because it is a criminal or the den of criminals. So they unleash them on you. And the brutality just like... So in the process, it became a pandemic that it led to a mass revolt and SARS protest in Nigeria. Everyone came out to come and share their sad story in the hands of these murderous police criminals. So when... What's that? Sorry, I'm hearing an alarm. So I want to know if I need to evacuate my family, in case. Anyway, that was the brutality. But like I said, if you pay attention very well, you don't even need to pay too much attention to know. The oppression as it is coming from the top, layer by layer, everybody everybody get to know that you know your place. If you don't belong to any of those categories, you are not a family of the criminal politicians. You are not related to any of these, you are not famous, and you are not related to any famous person in Nigeria, then you are on your own. You are going to be in the basket of the remaining 95% of us who have no such privilege. And whatever happened to us, it is either we caused it, or because we were trying to prove our right, because we have no right. So police brutality is something that made so many Nigerians to hate the police. Oh dear. Nigerians hate police so. And that is why some are doing everything they can. Number one, to avoid police entirely. Or try to befriend the police and be their friend and pretend to be friend with them. And being friend with them means you'll be parting with your money and you'll be giving them, you'll be taking care of it like you are bribing them so that in case if you run into trouble, that won't save you. It will only buy you time until you get into one that is pretty much out of your space. Because even those ones that claim to be famous, they also get roughed up by this same criminal police in Nigeria. So, police have no friend. I mean, they have families. They have their supposed circle, immediate friends, of course. But in Nigeria, nobody is police friend. It got so bad that police, they have to start a campaign. I remember back then, police is your friend. Police is your friend. No, you are not my friend. Oh. Police is your friend. No, you are not my friend. If you see if armed robbers are chasing you, they want to rob you, and you see a police checkpoint in front of you, you are advised to run back to the armed robbers, because the armed robbers will take whatever you have, and they will disappear. Police will rob you and they will rope you. You know what I mean? They will rob you and then they will accuse you of being an armed robber. If you want to try to like get whatever they rob from you back, that's how bad they are. And you can end up in jail for a crime you didn't commit. That's how bad it is. So they say, police is your friend. Bail is free. All kind of lies. One of those lies. When they say that there are many lies in Nigeria, many, many lies. And they are national lies. Here you get. If they say Nigeria is one, that is a lie. Nigeria is not one. You know that. Police is your friend. No, it's a lie. Police is not your friend. Bail is free. Of course, it's a lie. A national lie. Bail is not free in Nigeria. Of course, somebody said, Mayegun, there are still good policemen. Okay. Thank you for reminding us that there are still good policemen. But here is something. This is the fact where even policemen in Nigeria Are you with me? They know how much people despise them. And it is simply because of this act. People have been shot because they are unable to give them the password, the PIN number to their phones. You know, police will collect your phone in Nigeria. They are not looking for anything. They are looking for if you have any foreign number, like you have somebody you are phoning or called you from abroad, or you have sent a text message that has a bank balance, for example, your account balance as a text message. They are looking for things that will eventually say, okay, you have to pay, you have to give us also amount of money. If you say no, they will then have to rope you by accusing you of a crime you didn't commit. So eventually, your people will have to pay more to get you free because they don't want you to go to jail. That's how corrupt they are. In so many places, because they allow the policemen to travel free in Nigeria. They go onto the public bus and they don't pay. Here you get. Now, police got so hated at some point that some of them, they take off their uniform before going into public transport. That's how bad it became. And they, for once, never had any intention of reforming them. So a lot of us joined in condemning police brutality. This is absolute nuts. This is lawlessness. What kind of a place is this? What kind of a country is this? Like I told you, majority of those who are condemning the police themselves, they are those who have become the victims of this police brutality. But in that same circle, you see those who are Nigerians themselves, who are also using the same policemen to brutalize other poor Nigerians. And the poor Nigerians will have to go and beg the man. Imagine somebody who raped your daughter. Somebody raped your daughter. But he's a big man in your area. He's connected. Rape your daughter repeatedly. And it became public and everybody is enraged. Oh, yeah. And then the next thing, police showed up in your house early in the morning. They arrest you, arrest your wife, arrest your daughter. And before you know it, a lawyer appeared and they said they are suing you for defamation so as to shut you up. No investigation, no nothing. The rape part of it is now going to be, you are accusing a big man, you want to destroy him. That's why you said he raped your daughter. That's how Nigeria is. So rather than investigate that accusation, people will begin to go and beg the big man. And please help us release mommy and daddy, mommy Dammy and daddy Dammy. And a devil used them. The pastor went to the police station yesterday and they said that they are even like blaming their daughter for lying against you. This is the kind of the society people live. I'm talking about people who are not even in government, but little money. Here you get. You will see a woman will walk out and he will slap a policeman in traffic. Bah! Madam, what do you do? They'll say, oh, she's the wife of a soldier. Really? The wife of a soldier? And true to it, you will see a soldier walking behind her. And they would have to force the policeman to apologize to madam because she's the wife of a soldier. Do you get that? But because it is a lawless place, a lot of the victims can't fight back. They have nobody to fight for them. They have no institution to curtail these people. And in fairness, by the way, there are many, many police brutalities I have seen on social media where the police officers have been arrested by the police themselves. A lot of people will say, oh, we don't know what happened to them later. That's a story for another time, isn't it? Well, yeah, in fairness to them, we have seen so many police brutality videos on social media that we ended up having to see the policemen arrested, derobed, some of them sacked, and standing trial for either killing someone or robbing somebody. We have that. But of course, those who are the victims, when they see the brutality from those who are fairly off than them, using that power and leverage. And listen to this, there are millions of people who have actually experienced this in their lifetime, where they have to use the system. One big man in your area do that. or the madam, the wife of the commissioner, or the wife of this or that, or the, you know what I mean, the son of the governor, the son to this and that. Look, worse, but it's been a while I've actually seen that. And all of us who condemn that all the time, yeah, you would expect that you don't want to get caught in such acts. But there are explanations here before we begin to dish out blames. Seun Kuti, one of our Aluta Continua, Victoria, and all that stuff. People who detest the systemic brutality, systemic this and that. A lot of us who actually would do worse if when there is no camera, if we lay our hands on these police officers. I know many of you that will actually do worse if the camera is not on. But for somebody who is an international artist, here is what I think. If this happened in the UK, the police in Nigeria are so lawless that they themselves, they don't obey the traffic rules. Sure, you get? The police escort will be the one breaking the traffic rule because they are taking Oga's wife for manicure and nail painting. Madam want to go and do a manicure. She's going to be late for her appointment. She want to go and fix her hair, and they will put on a siren, breaking the law, and it's so regular. And people will just ease as they are passing, driving rough. Shayun and his family, they were traveling in a small family car, and something happened, and that was they had a hit from behind, and it was the police van that somehow, as usual, ran into them, and the shock of like that. And then you look back, the anger that, oh, finally we stopped. What happened? And then you open the door and you look back, you see that you are actually like hit from behind. From my own driving training, they said when something like that happens, the first thing you check is, number one, is everyone okay? And number two, if everyone is okay, quickly, if it is a busy road, quickly bring everyone out of the car and move them to safety. First, leave the car, get everyone out of the car and take them to safety and call the police or call your insurance. It's a very simple thing. Here, no matter how angry you might be, because if you do anything at that point, you will be committing a crime. It won't be about, auto crash anymore. It's very simple. But Nigerian system have destroyed Nigerians so much that even those who are supposed to be in the know, a lot of them are walking around, with serious mental problem with what Nigeria is. They said 80% of Nigerians have mental health problem. Do you think 80% of those people, they will be walking around, naked and wearing this or that? Everyone suffers that act of insanity every hour in Nigeria. And those are just for those who are trying to keep their sanity all the time. But every hour, you get spark, you get that charge. Something wants to make you get angrier. But safety of your family should be first. That, whatever happened first, you've managed to stop. You evacuate the family from the car. If the car is still drivable, fair enough. But whatever it is, you don't touch anything in that scene. So if you now come out and you realize that you are just hit by a police van, that even makes it easier. They just have to report themselves. But that will never make it up to you if you know that you have managed to step a little bit up above that poverty threshold in Nigeria. How dare you run into me? That is to a police officer or a group of police officers, the same people that will shoot you simply because you are not giving them the password to your phone. You know, normally, when that happens, bah, and you are not Seun Kuti, what would you do? You will come out, say, officer, do you want to kill us? What is all this? Look at you have, you can rage, you can rake, you can do all of that. But they are holding their guns. What are you going to do? You're going to walk to them and slap them? Of course you won't. You see the difference? You see the difference? There are things I'm going to do that I'm going to regret, but no matter the regret I'm going to have, it can be compared to those who are not in that my level. If they try same in that same system, they will be dead even before everybody asks what happened. No, you'll be dead. Now later they go because they say he slap police officer. They will say there is no proof. He no slap you. He no slap you. They don't kill Amo. They don't kill Afro. They don't kill Kunleo. They don't kill your weight. He no slap police officer. Police saying slap Amo. Sure you get because you're dead. So what happened? The policemen ran into Shayun. No full report yet. Bah! In anger and in that shock as well, because I'll be shocked. If you are a driver, from my own experience, so if you're a driver and you are just going on and then you just by surprise that you just have to match your brake, like maybe somebody just in front of you and you have to match that brake. Sometimes when you go down from that your 70, 80, and you are going down to 50, 40, like you are going down in the next 2-3 minutes, that shock is still going to be around you. It's not going to be a shock that will make you do anything, but it's just going to make you feel like, oh my God. In order to regain your balance, to regain your composure, that speed, that national speed you are maintaining, it will take you time to get back into it and get fully into your driving again. Have you experienced that? Well, I'm not a long-time driver. I've been driving for about 4 years or so now, or 3 years rather. So, which simply means I'm speaking from experience. So, whatever that shock was, this was Shayun's reaction. Okay, look at it.
Oh, more. Now put you. Better news.
You see that? Wow. You dey crazy? You dey mad? You want to kill my family? You want to kill us? Oh my God. Did Shayun just slap the police officer? In this divided Nigeria. That everybody is looking for a gotcha moment. And it's more, people are like, oh my God, did he just do that? Yes, he did. That's the crime he committed. No matter, and in fact, they said the policeman, immediately Shayun came out of the car. In fact, the policeman came down first. The moment that crash happened. And immediately Shayun came out of his car with anger. The policeman started begging him. Sorry. I'm very sorry, sir. I'm very sorry. Because they quickly recognized him. Seun Kuti. Now fella somebody so sorry. We are so sorry. We are so sorry for this. We are sorry, sir. Like, are you mad? You want to kill me? Worse. And the policeman was still there like, sorry, sir. Sorry, we are very sorry. His wife came down from that same car. I don't know how many people in that car. I don't know if there are children in the car. But his wife came down, or a lady that everyone believed was his wife, or is his wife, came down and he was like, oh, Baba commanded her back inside. Though. I will do same anyway, but not that way. So, hey, miss, go inside. Because everything will escalate here right now. These people may start shooting. You get that? Like, that could be a good excuse. A typical African man, right? Or a typical man who want to protect the family, even though they are not safe right there. In fact, his action endangered the lives of his family even more than the accident that first happened, in my own view. Because if things escalated that there, just there, it could put he was putting the life of his family in danger. Beyond those unprofessional policemen that ran into him. And that's exactly the gotcha moment that automatically makes people to say, those who kind of condemn bad behavior or bad behaviors, most of them actually have bad behaviors too. Me, I have my own bad behavior. I won't lie to you. Sure, you get. And one of my bad behavior is that I am very stubborn. And most of the time when I use my stubbornness to do something, I regret. I don't share my regret. I don't share and I don't try to blame anybody. I just sit down here and start blaming myself like, damn it. Yeah, once in a while I take it on the, on the rest of the household by just trying to just be moody and all of that. Because I've made a stupid mistake. Because I wanted to be stubborn. That's a bad behavior for me too. Well, maybe not so bad, like slapping a police officer or even slapping anybody. I don't have that lever to raise my hand and slap my son, no matter what he did, whatever he did. Do you know what that means? To be raised in Nigeria and have the restrained control of not raising your hand, on hitting the people. Something that is so common. Police officer will slap you. They will beat you like you have done something wrong just because. They just want to intimidate you and get something from you. Your partner will do something and you are so angry. Oh. And you begin to show love again. I'm so sorry, dear. I'm so sorry. You made me angry. That's why I slapped you. A lot of our brothers here are in jail in the UK because, of course, what makes you feel manly is something that when you walk and you become somebody like is a provider, a man, and you've kind of attained some level in this, in the society, sort of, right? You want that manliness. Never. It's called ego. Your ego. You don't want it bruised. You don't want somebody that you considered, a little bit below you, even though you know what I mean. You get what I'm trying to say? Whoa! Come here. Put your hands down. Whoa! For kids. Do you know what it takes to be raised in Nigeria? And then you have to find other means of expressing yourself, even though you are angry. Other means, rather than hit people. Oh, Baba, they say they say how did they say that one there's this particular saying, they say the heart of kids, they say na madness, the heart of kids. They say aya omode ni were disi egba lo ma fin tu. Is a Yoruba thing. Say aya, the chest of a little kid, or the kids, their chest is where you have all kind of madness, all those kind of things that they want to do. So the only way to put them right is to cane them and beat them. I can still show you marks of beating when I was growing up. The ones I got from my own parents and guardians and all that. The ones I got from my teachers across all my life. Primary, secondary school. They said they were teaching us, they were training us, but they were actually molding us into what many have become today. Unfortunately, I don't want to go back and question how we were raised, but we all do know that as we grow up, we begin to see that there are other ways of doing things, expressing your anger, your rage. I am somebody who screams a lot. Honestly speaking, every time I scream at, not screaming, like, raise my voice because I'm angry. I always kind of feel so depressed after, not depressed like that, but like, I feel so bad that, oh God, why did I have to like raise my voice that much? I could still say what I wanted to say. Though I was so angry, I could still say them and they will still get what I meant without me having to scream like that. And I'll be feeling somehow. I'll be feeling bad. Like, there are other ways. But as a typical Nigerian, they say, you must get with it. Now where they take wash with it. My if police come now and do the you have to now this, you know what I mean? Because that's how we were raised. We were raised to kind of, even though sometimes people actually misapply that too, unfortunately. And a lot of people have to unlearn so many things that finally make them complete gentlemen and then gentle women or be gentle lady. So you get a lot of things that a lot of people suffered growing up, and what Nigeria has also dished out to us, they kind of made us mean. So it took extras for some people to become so renewed and refreshed enough that when you meet with them and you see how they do things, you'll be so wowed and say, wow, you are so different. Because they decided to be different from what the society is molding us to be. So gotcha. Immediately, the Nigerianness in so many of you kicked in. Some said, I blame the policemen. They're supposed to don't shoot them there. If they say an ordinary person now, they could don't kill him. That's you. They're supposed to shoot him. He slapped the police officer. That's an assault. Here in the UK, if you slap somebody, even your partner, now 6 months in jail. And they're just going to be, if you are just first-time offender, you never slap anybody before, you never kick anybody before. If then grab you, now 6 months, you go. Where? You can't slap police officer, but you can play around with something about 2 years, 3 years. So. And it will then be on your record in a way that the way they will treat ex-convicts, that's where go jail here. It's not the way they will treat you. You will become a person of special interest here in the UK. What will even make you slap a police officer? When you are not on drug, when you are not high. Even if you are drunk, you can't slap a police officer. Do you understand? Because you would have kind of pictured your life, what your life is going to be like. So it's the same thing in Nigeria, right? I can't slap a police officer. What's not they smoke? Which kind of drug? Who be my supplier? We go make me say, I won't go slap a police officer, I'll slap soldier. Is that not what we say to ourselves? Baba, don't go do mistakes, slap soldier. Oh. You don't die, be that. Oh. They even made a joke about it. Or several comedies about, don't try it. Oh. For any reason, don't try and slap a man with gun. So some people now say he should be killed. Abba, killed. Now jail time, which one is killed? He's been attacking Peter Obi. Because he's been attacking Peter Obi, everybody that is attacking Peter Obi is fighting only this. Baba, calm down. Calm down. Even your Peter Obi himself will go and visit and say, man, I can't cancel you. You get that? But it is the Nigerianness in many of you. Sure, you get the rage, the anger, something that you want to happen to some certain people, so that they can stop being the stumbling block to your freedom. I understand, but that's extreme. And there are many, especially the obedient, who are actually saying he must be prosecuted, which is the right thing to say. No, you don't slap police officer. Police also beat people. No, you don't do that. No, you don't do. You can't do that. Well, look at this Mayegun self. Okay. I'm saying it to you that you can't do that. No matter how terrible they are, you cannot slap a police officer. No, you can't. Abi, you can't. Okay. But listen to me. You cannot become what you condemn and then expect that to change. It doesn't work that way. The reason why Nigeria is what Nigeria is today, Shemika tell you, it is not because your criminal leaders are geniuses, that's that much. Oh. But they discovered something and they have clinged on to it up to this day. Your division. As long as you are divided, they will have no reason to fear losing power. Because you see, Nigerians, you love your oppressors differently. Some people are saying what Shayun did is the right thing to do when your family is in danger. No, it is not the right thing to do. Others are saying that Shayun must be shot and killed on the spot. No, what he did is not a death. It's not a death warrant. And the police officers are not caught. Here you get. But nevertheless, Shayun is not even a politician. Well, he has a political party, revolutionary political party. He's not a politician, right? Or he's never been in power to say, oh, he's used the position of power on anyone before. But your criminal politicians, that come from your different tribes and different ethnic and different religion and the rest of them, a lot of you love them differently. As you see this one, they'll say, I love him because it's Yoruba. I cannot look around and allow them to attack Igbo leaders. Now, criminal politicians is calling Igbo leaders. So these people are insulting our leaders in the north. They are talking about the criminal leaders from northern Nigeria. So everybody loves their criminals. They love their oppressors differently. But when you want to put things in the right perspective or the right way it should be, there's no point in shooting and killing him if you have not seen them done that extrajudicial killing of people. Right? So, he should be arrested. Can you even believe that? There are people who are discussing if Shayun should be arrested or not. The police IG is also, the media says, the police IG has ordered his arrest. Ordered. Okay. Shayun also shared his own side of the story. He said he's not chasing clouds. According to him, he said the policeman tried to kill him and his family. He said he has a proof, and he's not chasing clouds. He said the police officer apologized and he has agreed not to press charges. So he said all of you should mind your businesses so that you don't put the police officer in trouble and make him lose his job. Then I think a moment later, when Shayun heard that the police IG has ordered for his arrest and the investigation, Shayun said, I welcome the investigation and will give my full cooperation. Right? And he said he also prayed for the IG that whoever is wrong should be indicted. This is Shayun trying to kind of act like he's not worried. But let me tell you something. Shayun should be worried for so many reasons. But I will list one or two. It should be. Then for the second part that I think is why he's not so worried is the typical Nigerian system. As all of us are having this chat, you will remember for a very long time that an Afrobeat musician, a supposed human rights activist, slapped a police officer in traffic and on camera. Yeah, that would live with a lot of you for a very long time, I believe. Then it will wear out, like many others that have shocked you in the past. But you see, as we are having this chat here, phone calls upon phone calls, endless phone calls are going on behind the scene. trying to find a soft landing for Shayun, because Shayun is not me. Shayun is not you. You can't slap a police officer and still be alive. And if you are, right now, your entire family and your circle, they would already be feeling like you are dead, even when you are not. You know what I mean? So, as you are having this chat, and Shayun himself, currently in their family house as well, right? They are doing everything behind the scene, using the elite, I know you, you know me, this and that. Then before you know it, they will tell you Shayun is visiting the Lagos State Commissioner of Police. But in the long run, it seems that a lot of us have actually been hiding, pretending that we hate what the current system stands or represents, while we are actually like waiting for our turns. They are waiting for their turn, and if they have that same chance, you will face more brutality in their hands. No this and no peace. So this Shayun issue is now causing more noise, more vile messages, where people are already, as usual, they are taking it to different parts of Nigeria biases, tribe, religion, class, and the rest of that, forgetting the fact that the police committed a crime, Shayun committed even a higher crime. And if you want a working country, you can't be a law unto yourself. Nigeria is a jungle, a lawless jungle. But who made it more lawless? The likes of Seun Kuti. So he said he's open for investigation and all of that. So that's just a wash. So Shayun will get away with it. You can bank on that. He will get away with it. But for those of you who somehow believe that Nigeria can be saved, conversation like this or happenings like this are enough to let you know that if Nigeria is going to be saved, who are those who are coming to save her? The criminals that are already selling a part like a spare part, or those who can't wait to show what they can use power for, no matter how little leverage they have. So in all, it is condemnable. But hating yourselves and tearing yourselves apart for it, I mean, Showore came up. And Showore, in his own usual way, he kind of picked on the obedient and obi specifically. And that is kind of, well, lately it is kind of his trend, but this is not the Showore I would ordinarily vouch for when it comes to some of his postulations. You just feel like somebody who is completely against bad behavior. And he doesn't care whose ox is God. It doesn't matter if you call somebody your Lord and Savior. If they have done something wrong, he will speak out and condemn same. But Showore the four lands. Sure. I don't know what happened. I don't know if finally somehow people have pushed that your what do you call it, that your resistance button, or something that where you are kind of you're able to like hold back the pressure of playing into the hands of those who kind of believe that you are not real. I have had a chat with you, I've had one-on-one with you, and I've seen few things you've done behind the scene as well, and I'm like, You are as real as you can ever be. It's so hard, or becoming so hard to say I understand his mind anymore. Maybe I never did. So what happened? Shayun acted badly, a very bad behavior. The one that I believe after the whole thing, even Shayun himself will kind of feel like maybe I shouldn't have acted that much. No, I shouldn't have. I mean, every reasonable person will be like, okay, I was angry, I was raging, and I feel bad about it. But for Showore to turn around and try to, I don't understand. You know what he said? Specifically targeting the obedient and them. I mean, picking up on their comments, those ones who are like vile comments. I'm talking about those who wish that the police shot and killed Shayun there. That was what Showore picked. And he didn't waste time to blame that kind of evil wish on Shayun by those Showore called obedient. He said they wanted Shayun to be killed because he didn't support Obi. Hello? I mean, come on. Sure you get? And he went on to speak more and more and more. I was like, nah. I would want to see where he, Showore, was able to say, oh yeah, what Shayun did there is condemnable. We don't have the full story. We don't know what happened, but the fact that Shayun had to slap the police officer on camera and knowing the kind of person he is, right, is condemnable. But we'll wait for the full story. And maybe in addition, you can take a jibe at those who want him to be shot dead. And for those of you who are hoping that he got shot, this is part of the problem. You don't ask that people you don't like should be killed because you don't like them. People that are not in your own, in support of Peter Obi. Sure, you get me now. You don't even have to mention names. I mean, this is me trying to say something else he could have said, and the message will still very much be received. Shura didn't wait. He just went for it. He went for it. And every day, I wish I could just say, show what happened, what's going on. You know? Well, so people started entering Showore himself, making most of them to continue to. And you know one thing this does, for somebody like myself, who call himself the diary, where we keep every sort of happenings, or every happening in Nigeria. From the time we've opened this diary up to this date, it is the same pattern, the same, routine and the rest of that. Nothing has gone off rail since majority of you have known Mayegun. And it is what you're going to get today, what you're getting now is what so many people got 10 years ago, 8 years ago, 5 years ago. Sure you get. So for somebody like Showore, I know you all have your different, belief about him, and I understand this your election as well. Kind of like I said, sort of popped up and showed everyone where they truly belong to and the rest. But for somebody like myself, who kind of have chosen the same pattern, speaking that same truth, no matter who sucks is God, and still remaining in that same path, it saddens. It saddens somebody like myself having to see that the effort that I happen to be one of those who documented some of them, the effort of Showore in standing up against this brutish system became almost rubbished simply because of his stand. And every time Showore make his stand or make any kind of a statement or any kind of attack, he forgot that he's not doing so at Obi. Those who usually respond have been those who were once screaming revolution now. And this bitterness sort of is something I don't really get. And this bitterness go both ways. So the obedient are so embittered about anything Showore and his own revolutionary people, they are so embittered about anything obedient. And I was like, what? Like, then I realized Showore found comfort, in stoking that ember of that division. And it saddens the heart of people like us. They said he's saying the truth to help who? The truth to help Tifnumbu and APC and destroy the Nigerians who have rejected them. What truth are you talking about? To whose gain? But Obi was once in PDP. Are you actually going to continue to say that and then forget and ignore all that really transpired before he left the same PDP? I mean, I'm just asking you, to whose advantage is when you destroy yourselves? Obedient. To whose advantage is it to destroy those revolution now, as all of you are so embittered at yourselves? And the likes of Showore is not even helping matter. He feed into that narrative very well. And the moment he jumped there and you jump at him, the revolution now has jump at you, and you are all there trying to strangulate yourselves. And I continue to watch. I'm like, wow. To whose advantage do you think that will be? It will be to the advantage of those that prompted you to say you don't want this fraudulent system anymore. It will be to the advantage. Maybe you are not thinking about it that way. It rubbishes everything in my book. And today, if you say Showore, if you just put Showore, you will see the amount of hatred and vile messages that comes with that now. And so me watching him kind of trying to do this again and again, oh dear. Well, so we don't want anyone to be killed simply because you don't like them. I know most of what I will tell you, what I'm telling you is not going to change your mind. I am not here to change your minds. No. Do whatever you like. I am just here to summarize them and give you a chance to understand where and which role you are currently playing or you have played, which has served the interest of the same establishment that we all tend to seem to, to be angry at. Shayun will be arrested, or they will make a soft landing for him. And you and I will continue to be the awaiting victim. We don't have Fela's name, and we likely don't have a lot of people who are going to give us soft landing, not because we slap a police officer, but simply because of speaking out our mind. And after speaking out your mind, and then the system comes for you, and you realize that those who are supposed to be up and doing and speak for you, they've been so compromised that they lack any kind of legitimacy. Compromise here and there, there and then, you realize that you are on your own. It breaks heart for those who understand what this means. Divided people can never defeat their oppressors. I hope you understand what that means. Showore? I don't know if you are watching. I hope you know what that means. You are a veteran. You know what this means. Every attack or every effort to demoralize, every gaslighting against those that you also reported what they suffered, including yourself, during the NSAS, the suffering under APC, the rigging that saw them killed. Omo, every effort to try to demoralize them is not doing anything to help whatever mission you might have. It is helping the establishments to further keep all of you in that perpetuity, that bondage. So you're not doing anybody any good. Those of you who wanted Shayun to be whatever you wanted to be to be done to Shayun, you are not doing yourself any good. Shayun himself, with his role, especially in the last 6 months, this your charade election, his role in gaslighting those he considered as obedient or obedient, as he called them. Divided, attacking yourselves, going after one another. This Shoren a madman, this Shayun a madman, this Obi a crazy man, that one is this or that. To whose advantage, by the way? You are doing it to the advantage of the criminals. Unfortunately, even though, like I said, I am not here to tell you not to do it anymore. I'm just trying to let you understand. Yeah? That all of this is to your own disadvantage. And if you have a chance of being an influencer, somebody that could, me, I know be influencer now, I know they influence anybody. Sure, you get, I wish I have that power. Where I will just tell you, say, and they will say, Baba Gio have spoken. You know that kind of thing. They will say, Mayegun have said. I don't have that kind of privilege. I don't have that kind of influence. So I decided to just make myself a small conscience, something that will always ring at the back of your mind. Mayegun. I remember when I was watching that Mayegun, when he was saying something, and I can get you thinking. I don't know. I don't have the power to influence you. If I kind of have that power, I will use that power right now. Because it is so important for all of you to understand. The real elephant in the room is the establishment, which comprises of the Bokwari and his gang, Tifnumbu and his gang, the entire APC structure, Egbekegbe, and what it stands for is anti-Nigeria. So if you feel like you can do it and you can get rid of them, or you can do it, you can get rid of them, or those ones can do it and get rid of them, that means all of you are tired of them. All of you acknowledge that they are the real danger. So when you tear yourselves apart, to whose advantage do you think that is? Now, so many they think anyway. And hopefully, you will know better. Don't wish anybody get killed because you don't like them. Sure you get? It is a kind of narcissistic, hang on, no. I remember how they spell that narcissistic. Narcissistic. I think it's okay. See the problem of Oyibo now. Let me breathe in, breathe out. Because they call those, there are those they call the narcissists. Narcissists are people who are kind of naturally unempathetic. They don't feel empathy for people. They don't feel sympathy for people. Sure you get? So they will say, narcissistic. God will bless you. The way they pronounce about the way, no, sorry, the way it is written, it is written as narcissistic. But they will pronounce it as a narcissistic. Nah, that doesn't sound right. Narcissistic. Nah. Let's use narcissistic. See, pressure to work with that guy. I use that on break.
Many people are in the bank because many people are dying. Everything are doing. Pressure to work.
But it is actually like a sickness that makes you feel unempathetic. For example, if they say, Omo, hey, police don't kill a young man, oh, they don't kill 2 people for there, what's happen? Omo, police just come, they shoot. Where would they play football and they just kill 2 people? You get Samsung charger. So, Baba, you know you I talk. Area don't scatter. They don't kill 2. Baba, give me Samsung charger, Jare. Suradi tell her just on his generator. I won't go charge. A lot of Nigerians are like that. It got to a stage whereby, a young lady, a doctor, Chinelo, was shot and killed by by Boko Haram terrorists on the Kaduna Abuja rail train. And the young lady tweeted and said, please, I've been shot. Please pray for me. And typical APC, Nigerians, they went there and they were asking, are you dead now? Look at this idiot. Look at this IPOB member.
who want to destroy Nigeria. So they shot you, Abi. You are supposed to be dead by now. This and that. And when they discovered that she was actually shot and she is dead, they started deleting everything they wrote about her. So, when you say you don't like people, or because people you don't like, or some people don't support what you support, some people don't worship the same God like you, some people, they don't worth this sort, you don't like them. You look at people like they are worthless. Don't be saying you self worth too much, but you just stay there. Something just tell you, say you did better past those ones. And then somehow you want them. I wish we have a better government, a better soldier. I wish there's a military here that can just come and just shoot everybody and kill everybody for that place. Did you just say that? Do you know people say that they wish? These are the narcissistic projection that I want to implore you. It's not politics, it's not woke, it's not anything. Like I said, I can't change your mind, I can't influence you that you don't like people or you don't like what they believe or what they stand for. I mean, don't get into the stage of hatred to the point that you are now projecting something terrible to happen to them. Come on. So a lot of you who kind of feel like that, you may not know, but it's a very bad thing. Very bad. And don't say, I don't mean it. I'm just saying it now. I know, I don't mean it. I don't mean it, Papa. You do mean it. Do you know why you are denying it? Because you know it's a very bad thing. Here you get. It is a very bad thinking to wish something evil happen to people you don't like. And in Nigeria, political nonsense, almost everybody don't like everybody. And since they cannot do most to everybody, they cannot do most to themselves the way they would like to. So they just wish. If somebody is from northern Nigeria now, look at this name, Latu Aruno, XYD. Latu Aruno sounded like a name from middle belt part of Nigeria or maybe up north. That's what the name sounds like, right? If to say Latu Aruno, just say, you, and with a super chat, I say, you this Mayegun, God punish you. I know many of you whose response will be, see, you Latu, you go see, Boko Haram go soon take your family, Fulani Asman go soon rape your wife, this one, and that, because you don't like them. And if you have a chance of expressing what you really want to happen to those you don't like from any part of Nigeria, what will you say? Fulani Asman go rape your wife. As if to say that's a good thing to wish on people. Don't worry. Very soon, the Boko Haram will come and kill everybody in your village. As if that is something. So these are the free things that people say to themselves. Don't worry. Shebi, all of you think say you cannot, you can stop APC. Very soon, the unknown government go kill your family. They go kill your people for Imo. They go do this and that. They are wishing that on themselves because they don't like themselves. It is bad. You should never let your children pick up this behavior. A lot of you say them and you say it to yourself and say, I don't mean it. Some will say, it's because I was angry. That's why I said that. Seun Kuti committed a crime by slapping a police officer. His worst case scenario is to go to jail. And that will take a court to do. Not anybody in their private or whatever. Yeah, that's how it works. The police officers that actually hit his family car, he can press charges. When he presses charges, he's not going to charge a police officer. He's ignorant of that, by the way. You're not going to charge a police officer driving a police vehicle for hitting you. You will charge the police force. Because the police force will be the, and in that official capacity is a police officer, right? Working for the Nigeria police. Whatever he does in that moment, right, is the responsibility of the Nigerian police, except if he kills somebody. Do you understand that? So Shayun can press charges that they put the life of his family in danger. But it will take the normal Nigeria system for Shayun not to go to jail. You can bank on that. You don't slap a police officer and walk away. It doesn't work that way. But wishing that something happened to him, that is excessive. And if you are in that category of people who feel like that because you don't like somebody, I want something to happen to them. Hey, you need to check it. Check it, please. That is extreme. Am I going to extreme? God should put, listen, say what you like, but always remember, you are now sort of, showing the symptoms of a narcissist, a narcissistic person. And narcissistic people are very, very vile and evil. If you have that tendency in you, don't think using it on people you don't like alone will end it. You are going to begin to show that trait as well in people that you think you love. Because all you have to do is to justify your action. Somebody does something to you and you want to justify that action, just go for the broke, do all the damages, and come back and say, I'm sorry that I did that, and you know what I mean? Like, just justify it. If you will ever say sorry anyway. So if you are against a corrupt system that has done so much damages, the one that is almost like breaking up the entire country into pieces right now, the one whose politics have shown how divided Nigerians are, and Nigeria, if you want something different, then you have to do better. A lot of you have to check yourselves, including myself. Here you get. If we are condemning something, we should try our best not to become that thing that we condemn. So I hope my message this morning will guide and help you in the areas of handling your anger, expressing your anger, and controlling and containing them. Because most of the time, we all regret anger. It's just that a lot of you don't say them out. When I get angry, so angry, even if I was right, if I was angry on something right, the fact that I dissipate energy on that anger, on that stuff, I always regret it. I always feel so bad. And somebody said, Mayego, you are growing soft. No, I am becoming human. That's what happened. I have become human. I have put aside all pretenses, all excuses to justify bad behavior. And I kind of sort of thrive to get better, to be more better and better as time goes by. So if you want to, if you have a tiny bit of 1-2 people who actually look up to you as well, then you should remember that there are going to be consequences of our actions, including the ones we took or we take when we are hungry. You don't set yourself up. Enough that the establishment. Now, this is now beyond all our reactions. So now, for now, the establishment have something on him. And for the rest of his life, they will keep reminding him of that. It's like somebody, they will say, oh, you do something now. Okay, you know what? Let's put this on. Let's pretend that we are forgiving you. But just one more thing. Just one more thing. Just one thing again that we can grab on. So, apart from the fact that we are losing the good men of this generation to what I would call a misplaced priority, our generation owed something. We owe the coming generation something. And that is not to be like the ones before us. We can't blame all the generations before us if they didn't fight enough for us. But we have to blame ourselves that we know better now. We understand the system better. But the time for us to actually take it down and then build something that actually will work for the interest of the people, we were busy tearing ourselves down until we could no longer fight. That is the reason why for this generation, we must kind of call ourselves to order. You know what I mean? If we either set our priority right, or we should stop pretending that we don't like what is going on in Nigeria, when what we actually don't like is the fact that we are not the ones doing all the stealing, all the oppression and the rest. Sure, you get? We are not. We need to prove that we are not actually waiting for our time or our own turn to unleash terror, unleash oppression, unleash the wars that we are currently suffering from right now. And if we can't really prove that, then we'll probably hold the coming generation a big apology. Because now, what I know at my age, my parents didn't know when they were my age. What I know about the world today, my parents didn't know them when they were my age. Because during their time, the resources that I have access to today, that is kind of prepared me for whatever the world is going to ever become, they didn't have it. So if we say they didn't fight much, fair enough. What about us that knows better now? But rather than us to take our stand on something that quite will stand the test of time, if we then choose to destroy those who manage to stand out, we shouldn't blame the generation before us, and we should be prepared to issue a lifetime apology to those coming after us. I'll leave you with that and see you later tonight. Do you know that our Papa has ordered for the arrest of Peter Obi? Do you know that? Oh, you didn't know? Okay. Our Papa said that if any member of a Labour Party or anybody call obedient, say they should not inaugurate Kalu as the president of Nigeria, our Papa said, arrest Obi. Arrest him. So the shege, the wahala is cooking. Join me later tonight. If you have the time, I'll see you then. So good night or good afternoon.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary, Nayibi #1.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary, Nayibi #1.
Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Mayegun diary, Nayibi #1.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Mayegun diary, Nayibi #1.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun diary, Nayibi #1.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary, Nayibi #1.
Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Mayegun máa wí.
Mayegun diary, Nayibi #1.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary, Nayibi #1.
Mayegun diary political.
Mayegun diary, Nayibi #1.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun diary, Nayibi #1.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Mayegun diary, Nayibi #1.
Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary, Nayibi #1.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Presido bá rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
gómìnà kówó jẹ
Máyégún máa wí.
àní èsúra
Máyégún ti dé.
ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá
Máyégún máa wí.
àní èsúra
Máyégún ti dé.
aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o
Máyégún máa wí.
àní èsúra
Máyégún ti dé.
òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú
Máyégún máa wí.
àní èsúra
Máyégún ti dé.
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀súnra kì
Máyégún ti dé.
àní èsúra kì
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
ha kì máa yí ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀ kì máa yí ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀ ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ̀lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀súnra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀súnra kì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.